Hey guys, here I am in Oklahoma City. I'll be doing a workshop for a group of mid-market and larger companies tomorrow. And I just published my most recent blog today, and it's about this distinction between disruption and turbulence. And what I think is that we use the term disruption too freely today, and that comes at a significant cost. See, disruption, according to Clayton Christensen, means that when an attacker attacks a part of the market that an incumbent finds invaluable, that the incumbent then succeeds that part of the market. So the attacker comes in and offers an inferior product serving customers that aren't that valuable to the incumbent. So the incumbent lets them have that because there's not a big cost to succeeding that part of the market. So what happens then is then the attacker then gets a beachhead, and from that beachhead they learn and they improve their product and they start moving up the upscale, if you will, attacking ever more valuable customers. And before you know it, or before the incumbent recognizes it, the attacker is now on its shores and attacking the parts of the market that they care about. And the thing that makes disruption so effective is that you as an attacker force your competitors onto the horns of a dilemma. And you force them to choose between defending themselves against your attack or defending and retaining their core customer base. And their core customer base is just so much more valuable that they, doing the calculus, are smart not to attack you. Not to defend against you. Now, the thing with disruption is that it implies that you, the incumbent, are incapable of defending yourself. But many of the disruptions, the things we call disruptions today, are not really disruptions. Blockchain or artificial intelligence; these are new things, yes, and they are combining together and forcing us into an accelerated pace of competition. But they are not disruptive because they don't force existing companies onto the horns of a dilemma. It is possible to respond to turbulence, while it is arguably impossible to respond effectively to disruption. And so when we call it disruption, and it's not disruption, it's not just a lazy use of a term, but it has implications because it implies that there's nothing we can do about it. But I think if you look at companies that are incumbents that are thriving in this era of disruption. If we look at Microsoft, whose stock price has doubled in the last 3 years, or we look at Adobe, whose stock price has quadrupled in 3 years, or we look at Cisco, whose stock price has nearly doubled in the last 3 years, what you see is a common pattern. There are 3 steps to this pattern. First, they observe the environment. They orient themselves to how these multiple innovations, not disruptions, but innovations, are going to combine together to create a new picture. Then they decide to take action, and they decide that they're going to shift resources and attention into a new approach, and then they rally resources to make that decision. So don't call it disruption unless it truly is disruption. Ask yourself, is this disruption or is it just turbulence? And if it's just turbulence, say, what is the future that we're headed to? What decision can we make to be relevant in that new future? And then rally the resources to implement that decision.